Hello everyone, wherever and whenever you're watching this video. I hope you're having a great day, and I hope you can learn a little bit of something here about the new economy. It's something I put a lot in my writing and the videos I do, and now I actually want to show you what it looks like. This isn't some just future abstract idea that people are trying to make. It's something that's actually here and you can use and get involved with right now. So this is exchange software, and in particular it's CryptoBridge. It's running on the Bitshares network. And this is going to be similar to a lot of other exchanges you see out there though. You have the price chart window here. You have all the recent market trades in this panel right down here. If you have any open orders, it'll show your own personal orders in this panel right here. If you want to sell some of your altcoin, you fill out all the information in this panel here. If you want to buy it, you fill out the information over on the buy side. If you want to take an order, you look down there for buy orders, over here in the red for sell orders. And this is, like I said, this is kind of a typical exchange that you would see, be it in stocks, commodities, currency, cryptocurrency, other digital assets, whatever. On Coinbase, there's a nice little form that makes it very easy to buy or sell. But what they're not showing you is you're buying or selling into these order books here. You can actually get on GDEX and go see this is the back end of Coinbase you'd be looking at. But it would look similar to this. You'd have your charts, your order books, all the different pairs they have available would be somewhere you can check out, and then trading history would be available also. So we have the price chart up here, but since we're going to be talking about market making in particular today, we want to see what the market depth looks like. Over here in green, and we're looking at the Ravencoin and Bitcoin pair right now. Over here in green is a graphical representation of the order book. So all this green is orders wanting to buy Ravencoin, and the price is getting lower and lower as you move to the left here. So obviously over at a very low price, there's going to be many more people who say, hey, I'll spend a little Bitcoin for X amount of Ravencoin. Over here in the red is the sell side. So these are all people who are wanting to sell their Ravencoin, and the price is getting higher and higher as you move to the right. The market maker software is going to need to be configured every time you set it up. You're going to need to look at the pair you want to make the market in. You're going to have to come in here to the price chart and the order book depth and see what the spreads are. So these are all the buy orders. These are all the sell orders. This gap in between is the spread. And so now it's going to really depend on how much value you're going to put into this particular session. And that's going to be personal choice, whatever your means and risk appetite is, use what you're comfortable with there. Right now, for what I'm going to show you here on my account, I just have a couple $100. I think it's $500 now after all the crashes we've been having, but I think it's about $500 that I have in here. And I typically trade with around $60 to $140 per session that I'm doing. Just to let you know what I'm doing here that you're going to be looking at. And like I say, whatever's comfortable for you, that's what you should be doing here. This is the decentralized economy. There's no hard and fast rule about stuff like this. It's whatever each person's means are, that's what they use. And on the very small exchanges like CryptoBridge here, there's typically low volume, especially when it's going to be compared to Coinbase or Binance or some of those top exchanges there. But that also means there's a lot of opportunity for the smaller fish like myself and even the medium-sized fish to come in here and earn some money by providing a service to this exchange. And so to find out what the spread is, you're going to need actual numbers to put in to your DexBot settings. You need to pull out your calculator and look at the order book here. So I dismiss the real small orders like this one here. 347 minus 341 is the buy order. So that leaves a spread of 6 Satoshi. And if you want to find out what percentage that is, you just divide it by that 347 again. So that's a 1.7% spread. Now, in a case like this, for me, with relatively small amounts here, so I would only have 193 Raven and at the moment 0.0055 Bitcoin available. So that'd be pretty small compared to all these orders of thousands and thousands and all of that. So I'm going to want to set up my bot to run in between those numbers as close as I can. We got about a 1.7% spread right now. I would probably put a 1.5% spread into the DexBot when I put it to work in this market. But this is all just kind of to show you how I would look at this order book and set it up. I already have the DexBot working over in Bitcoin to Bitshares. We can go take a look at that here. And I always like to flip them around. So as we see here, much smaller order book, and there's a fairly large gap. Right here we have about a price of 2,100 Satoshis. And right here we have about a price of almost 2,800 Satoshi. So that's a huge, huge gap where there's very little liquidity. If someone had an account with, say, $2,000 and they were comfortable with the DexBot software and setting it up and everything, they could come in and pretty much fill this gap here with their orders, and they would make a very respectable return throughout the day because they would be providing most of the liquidity in this order book right here. It's not going to take someone with a huge account to come and fulfill this market making service in the smaller exchanges. And I'm on CryptoBridge now. The DexBot also works on OpenLedger, EasyDex. There's about 6 of them I know that are built or soon launching on the Bitshares network. So this DexBot, it's specific to the Bitshares network. It can access any of those markets and do this market making service in them. So find whatever market you prefer and like using and get to work there. You can use those small amounts, like I say, and start earning some respectable returns by providing that liquidity. So I'm using smaller amounts. I'm working closer in the 3% spread range right now. So my orders are close to the top of the book. And I have much smaller amounts in there, so I can't make any significant impact to the liquidity here. I have to adjust my strategy to fit what my account can do. If I had those $1,000, $2,000, something like that, I would set up staggered orders here that would set orders incrementally between this point and this point. And it would automatically adjust them based on the buying or selling pressure. But I could set it up so there was a 1 or 2% spread between buy and sell. And I would be getting that 1 or 2% every trade that was made with the liquidity I was providing. And if you go over here, you can see all of the trades I've done since I put it to work last night. Someone's been nibbling at the buy order or the sell order I had down here, and it's taken all these back. That's what you're seeing there. So this is what the exchange is looking like. And we can also go and see how I've been keeping track of the trades and whether they're profitable or not. I haven't updated this in the past few days, and Bitcoin has crashed, like I said. It's down pretty significant since I put these together. You can see here 76, 7,700 was the Bitcoin price the last I updated it. Bitshares was at 22 cents. Bitshares is at 16 cents now. And Bitcoin is at 6,700 right now. So that's some significant damage to the market since I updated. But I'll go over updating these, and you can see some of my past history and how the actual returns have worked out on this DexBot here. And for this spreadsheet right here, I set it up so I note the starting Bitcoin balance, starting Bitshares balance, and down here I have different tabs for each pair I'm trading. So ALQO, SPD, Litecoin, Ravencoin, Bulwark, Shard. Those are all pairs I've been trading for the past month or so with this DexBot software. So you can see here, starting Bitcoin, starting Bitshares, and then ending Bitcoin, ending Bitshares. Using OpenOffice calculation page. It's just like Excel, but it's the open source version of it. I do just a quick formula to find out what percentage gain my Bitcoin balance had versus what percentage gain or loss my Bitshares balance had. So as you see here, the first round I did, my Bitcoin, I was up 22%. My Bitshares, I was down 17%. And my starting balance was 206. My ending balance was 205. So I lost just about 0.5%. Second round I did, I gained 92% on the Bitcoin side and lost 57% on the Bitshares side. So you can see there's big adjustments in the balance between one side or the other at times. That's something, well, I'll get to another time, but that's something to be aware of too. And I want to figure out some ways to use that to my advantage and our advantage, whoever's going to be doing this. So this one I lost 2.7%. That's pretty steep there for one day's trade. But I started with the 156 and ended with a 151 account value. This third round I did, my Bitcoin balance was down 55%, and my Bitshares balance was up 99%. And it was a 3.5% dollar value gain. This next round, my Bitcoin percent was up 7, and my Bitshares was down 1.5. And this was almost a 2% gain. This last one I had here, my Bitcoin dropped 21%. My Bitshares increased 18%. And I went from 148 to 149, so 0.5% gain total. And like I said, these values you see here I'm using to calculate these prices are old. I thought it'd be interesting to update them and see how that affects the past history of these trades here. I think there's some opportunity to be trading these coins one versus another using technical analysis, which I'm not very good at. So I'm going to be looking for some help doing that sometime in the future. If that's one of your specialties, maybe consider reaching out to me and we'll get something cooking there. But using technical analysis, I want to figure out how to trade one versus the other to really amplify these big gains you're seeing here. And so Bitcoin price is down to 6665.72. Ominous number. Probably fitting for the cryptocurrency markets right now, way down here. And Bitshares number 35 right now on CoinMarketCap. Bitshares is 16.5.165. Now we can look at here using these current prices. Looks a lot different here. So the first round I increased by 0.75%. Second round I'm up 2%. Third round I'm now down 1.2%. Fourth round I am up 2%, and the last round I am down almost 1%. Overall, up about 0.5%. So this was between Bitcoin and Bitshares. Here for Bitcoin and ALQO. It's another currency I really like. I've done some good research into that project. It's one of my favorite sort of low cap currencies out there. So Bitcoin 6665.72. ALQO is coming almost 400 here for ALQO, and it's 29 cents right now. See, this was 35 last time I did this. And so going through here, I've done 7 rounds of this coin. And overall, I am up nearly 1%. Stipend. This is another real speculative bet that I've caught on to here on the Crypto Bridge exchange. It's I think it's trying to be like a smart contract network that's specific to the freelancer community. So it would be like a e-lancer type website with a native cryptocurrency and all the smart contracts set up to release funds at certain times and all that stuff. But it caught my eye. I did some preliminary research into it. It looked good, so I took a little speculative position here. And it's a very low cap coin with kind of small volume, so I wanted to include it in the study I'm doing on the Market Maker bot. I want to use all sorts of different coins and market conditions to see how it performs in all of them. And you can see here, it was $1.20 last time I updated this. It's down to 92 cents right now. And 666572. Holy cow. Big changes in this one. So the first round I did, I was heavy on the stipend side, and I increased my Bitcoin a lot. That ended up netting me 18% gain with today's prices. Yeah, that would have been almost a 20% gain in one day. But my next two, I was heavy on the Bitcoin side, and then I transferred a lot of that to the stipend side, and so I'm down 9% in both of them. Overall, down just about 1%. Bridge coin. Oh, this was the bridge coin to Litecoin also. There's all sorts of different pairs available on CryptoBridge. You can trade Bitshares against them, Litecoin against them, Bitcoin against them. Smart Cash, I think they have quite a few pairs of a lot of different options here, which is one of the reasons I like it. Litecoin is way down $100. And CryptoBridge is about $2.20 right now, $1.22. Man, that's crazy. Anything getting close to $1 on CryptoBridge. This is screaming by. This is one of those projects that's already producing and earning income, and it has a very, very bright future as cryptocurrency starts breaking into the mainstream. So 122, and you can see the first trade I did between Litecoin and Bridgecoin here got me negative 4%. This was a very, very illiquid market here, I remember too. So with someone as small as I am in these markets, it's very hard to do any market making on those markets with a big spread and very low liquidity. That's something I've noticed so far. You can end up taking these big losses when you're trying to do that. All right, here we got Ravencoin and Bitcoin. See if it changed from that 666. I'm tired of typing that in. 6648 there. And Ravencoin. This is one I'm sort of lukewarm on. The only reason I included it in this market making research I'm doing here is because it had the highest volume on CryptoBridge. It's doing nearly 30 Bitcoin a day right now, which is one of the one of the top coins on this exchange. Let's see, there, Ravencoin at 2 cents. And so this, I've only done one round of trading with Ravencoin and Bitcoin, but I gained heavy on the Ravencoin, and the prices dropped significantly. So that was a good move back there. That one worked out in my favor. Bulwark is another privacy coin I've done a little bit of research into, and I really like this one. It's at 78 cents right now. It was 91 cents the last time I updated this. 0.786. 6647. And so for this one here, I would have been down just about 0.5%. Shard is another very speculative, very low cap, low liquidity coin, and it's basically a diversified investment vehicle. The Shard coin is going to have ownership rights of a whole basket of digital currencies that's professionally researched and vetted and managed and all of that. So it's going to be like a mutual fund of the cryptocurrency world if everything works out and it comes through on its goals and business plan. But here we go, 6647. And Shard was one that wasn't even listed on CoinMarketCap here. So we can still figure the price out. We just have to go back to the exchange and look at the order book here. Ooh, this is another one with a big and deep spread. If anybody had an account, like I mentioned, like $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 you'd be willing to put to this, you could be providing all the liquidity between these points right there. And that's if you have the accounts to fill up that much liquidity and to provide that big of orders, you're probably going to find you have a lot more consistent narrow profits than I'm getting right now. My orders are so small, I have to adjust to the market. If you're going to be providing that much liquidity in an exchange like this, you might be able to kind of calm the markets a little bit. And that's the whole goal of the market making too, is to provide smooth and calm markets, both upside and downside. But the goal is to provide smooth and calm markets rather than these big volatile markets. You can see the last trades here have varied almost 10, 15%. So that's opportunity for anyone willing to put their assets to work here. And that's one of the big exciting things about this new economy that I'm trying to share with everyone. That's this role of market maker is served mostly by Wall Street banks or well-connected asset funds, hedge funds, stuff like that. Usually only the people with connections get access to doing things like this. Here on the Bitshares network, and DexBot is another open source piece of software that's actually funded by the Bitshares network. But these tools are giving anybody that wants it access to start filling those roles and facilitating that value exchange that we had no access to before. It's one of the real exciting things that's coming up here in the financial services industry that's getting decentralized. So we can go back here. I saw one of my orders took just a second ago. So people have been selling Bitcoin or Bitshares, it looks like. Here on the price chart, yeah, it went down big time. That's a big jump between 246 Satoshi and 240. in just a 15-minute or so time span. That's a big jump. But the DexBot software here, I'll show you it before I log off. Well, that's not going to help. This is what I wanted. The software you're going to install, it's going to look like this. You're going to have to provide it with your active key to your Bitshares account. And then you can come in here and there's options for relative orders, which I'm doing here that you see. Staggered orders, which I briefly mentioned and showed you sort of a application they could fit in. But for staggered orders, you put the lower limit you want to work within and the upper limit. So you would go to the order book, find that sell wall right there and the buy wall, input those settings here, figure out which spread you want to use, what increments you want to place orders at, and you would be able to fill up that whole gap with a dozen or 2 dozen or however many was appropriate. You would be able to fill it up with a bunch of those orders. And this is where you go between what asset you want to be trading to. Bitshares, the network, is a very powerful network. Some other time, maybe I'll go through the research I've done on it, but it is a smart contract platform and a tokenization platform that's meant almost entirely for the financial services industry. That's why you're seeing stuff like this DexBot and all these decentralized exchanges popping up on it, is because it's tailor-made for financial services. And if there was one blockchain that's going to be connecting to the banks as they move their systems over to a blockchain-based accounting system, if there was one network I would count on gaining big from that migration, I'd say it was the Bitshares network. They offer a system that fits very nicely to the current financial services industry, and I think it's going to be a very smooth and seamless transfer as all these services get built on the Bitshares network. So this is a big long-term, probably 3-5 year bullish call that I would have on Bitshares. And so you can change between, they have a very easy way to attach fiat currency. Not very easy, but they have built-in ways that make it not too difficult. How about that? That make it not too difficult to attach fiat currencies to the network. And the fiat currencies would actually be sitting in accounts that are held, they call them gateways, but they would be sitting in accounts that are within a gateway to the Bitshares network. So you can hold US dollars, Chinese yuan, and I'm sure there's some other fiat currencies that are available now that you can find on the network here. So instead of having to do a stable coin like Tether that has some questionable characteristics and headlines about it, you can use actual fiat that's accounted for 1-to-1 on the Bitshares network. And so cancel that. I don't want to change any of the stuff I'm doing right now. But that was just to give you a look of what the DexBot worker looks like. And each time one of these orders is fully filled, you can see I have just a little partial 4 Bitshares remaining of my order, so it's still on the books here. As soon as that gets filled, the software is going to cancel my sell order, and it's going to readjust the price and put a buy order that's going to be a little bit lower and a sell order that's going to be a little bit higher here. I think I have a 3% spread put into these settings here. So it's going to take the last order price and go 1.5% lower, 1.5% higher, and input orders at those prices until one of those orders gets filled, and then it readjusts and sets new one. So that's that, and probably long enough for right now. I hope this was interesting and informative. Oh, we have to calculate shard price. That's right. So I was going to go here to Bitcoin shard, and it only has 5 pennies of daily volume here for its Bitcoin volume. That's hardly any at all. Like I say, it's not going to take too big of a pocket to come in here and fill that service on these little smaller small cap coins. We look at the last few market trades, and we're right at 1,300 Satoshi. So we can go back here and figure out our dollar price for this one. We go 6647 times 0.1234, 13. About 8.6 cents. And holy cow, this one was not looking good. I went heavy 2 Bitcoin from shard on this one, and 13% dollar value. That trade would have netted me with current prices here. That's one of the trouble with market making. You have to really think and strategize about how you want to accumulate or overweight one asset versus another. And that's where I think the real opportunity with the technical analysis and putting that as a layer on the strategy using this market maker bot here could really increase the efficiency and profitability. But that's a video for another time. So get out of this here, close everything up, and I hope everyone has a great day. Be sure to follow this channel or the Steemit channel, or bookmark the website. You can follow me on Twitter. I'll put the social media addresses and all that. But if you like information like this, it's going to be plenty more of it coming from me.